Hello, Flosstube.
Greetings.
I'm Laura.
I'm Joe.
Welcome to the Slovak Farm.
This is the farm where we grow cross-stitch.
One stitch at a time. Today is Monday, May 19th. Happy Monday. How is everybody?
Looking forward to next Monday.
Because next Monday is a holiday in the USA.
And I decided that I'm going to do something that should be done on that day because it's just symbolic.
Okay.
The pool.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to use it, but starting Memorial Day, getting the pool ready just seems like what you should do on Memorial Day.
Yeah, because, last week was beautiful and in the 70s and the 80s a couple days. It's currently 59 degrees today. And it's going to be colder like Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, like we're going to need to add boiling water to it just right now. We've got problems with this dang pool.
Right? Like, I may have to protect my plants from frost.
That's what I'm worried about with the pool. I'm almost wondering if we should just leave the damn thing closed all year. I don't know if we're going to open it and probably not be able to use it.
Frost?
No, I'm talking about never getting warm enough.
It'll get warm enough. Anyways, moving along. Hopefully you all had a wonderful week. We had a nice, calm week. I didn't have much to do, and I was glad.
I had a calm week aside from work. But that's neither here nor there.
Excuse me.
I like a job that doesn't sit still, unfortunately.
Well, there you go. And there you be. There's a problem. So there is not much to talk about because there wasn't much going on last week except for stitching. I'm not going to complain.
I had to mow the lawn yesterday.
Well, yes, the lawn had to be mowed.
I will say, as much as you dislike this weather, mowing the lawn in the 60s is nice.
I know. I did get I got all of the plants that I needed to planted in their pots. I have something I need to transplant. Actually, I have a couple house plants I need to transplant. But I got the outside plants taken care of. So, hopefully you all had a good week. Let us shout out our viewers and commenters from 2 videos because we all know Laura screwed up.
Fasha, Bridget, Teresa.
Thank you all so much for commenting and spending some time with us and
you didn't screw up.
With me when I screwed up.
You didn't screw up.
Okay.
You decided to have a back-to-back matinee.
Pretty much. Whips.
I don't know where my bug went, but right now I think it's having Mai Tais.
It's having something. That is not what I want. That is not. So, we started admin's favorite week with our Sal prompt. We, meaning me, because apparently I decided I was going to talk in third person there for a minute. Star Touch Meadow January block.
We already know your royalty, dear. I just didn't know you were Japanese royalty.
Apparently.
Do you know what I mean?
Not really.
Japanese nobles and nobility would actually refer to themselves as we.
Okay.
Didn't you pick up watching anime?
Interesting. I did. I don't know how many stitches because I didn't write it down and I'm not going to go look it up now. But I worked down here.
I love you.
I love you too. So I have like this whole half of it done. This is on 16 count white Ada. So this half is almost done. There's still some white stitches that need to be done. But it's almost all done. We're getting there. And then for admin's favorite week, a good tyke from Long Dog Sampler. I use this for all of the prompts, so whip of choice and share your other hobbies, which would be, one of my other hobbies would be diamond painting. That's the one I shared. whip of choice and share what genre reading you enjoy. Fantasy. A whip that depicts your pet. Well, it's a greyhound. And a whip that has plants, flowers or plants on it. I'm sorry, I have the burpees. This has plants on it. This is on a piece of 32 count Ada, even weave, in a royal blue. And I did a total of 1,191 stitches on it.
1,200.
1,291 stitches.
Don't sell yourself short like that. You did that. You earned that 1,200.
Right. So I finished filling in this plant thing here. I stitched this guy, these little guys. Started the dog outline. Fixed this because if you notice from the start photo, it said I had a good type must be head like a snake. It should have said headed. So I only had to take out this little block and it wasn't that bad, honestly. It wasn't as bad as it could have been because I didn't have the reason this thread is here is because I put in the border from here over and from here over, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And I can pull those out now because I don't need them in there. I put them in there for picture taking purposes. They're just little orts that I put in for photo purposes. For
what was that word?
Orts, old ready threads. For purposes of marking for start and stop photos. What?
Comment below if you actually heard of an ort before. Because this is the first time I've ever heard it.
Everybody who's a stitcher is going to say they've probably heard of it because I hear stitchers use it all the time. So that was admin week. I used my free pass on stitch on something that depicts food.
You're not stitching foodie.
I don't have any thing that's food. I don't think. I don't know. That took me up to the weekend. And the weekend meant Yearly. Cathedral Wood Goddess by Mirabilia. Hold please, she's not in here. I've retrieved her. She is stitched on 32 count custom dyed even weave and she is finished.
And sorry for your eardrums. I really like this one.
She is finished. She is beaded. She is gorgeous. No, I don't know how many beads are on her because I don't want to think about it. It was a lot of beading.
If I remember, that bead pack is the bead pack that made me had a heart attack. Because you bought that bead pack and another bead pack at the same time, and I had a heart attack when you told me how much it was.
This bead pack was not as much as the winner of bead pack craziness is Dressmaker's Daughter, because it is a $52 bead pack. This was not that expensive. This was only like one section bead pack, whereas Dressmaker's Daughter is like 2 sections. It's not as bad as it could be, but it's a lot. It was a lot. But she is finished. So she will get framed and put up because I'm excited she is finished. And F you to the narcissist. If you know, you know. So then I needed to stitch on something else this weekend because I finished that like Friday. And if you'll remember, I started this little freebie last month. I have no notions of loving people by halves, quote by Jane Austen. Started it last month for the ornament along. Never finished it. Well, now I have finished it. Don't remember how many stitches I did on it. I did none of her called for colors. I did it in colors that I liked. And I don't know exactly how many stitches I did on it because I forgot to write it down. Okay. So now that we have one of my 2 monthly options finished, I needed to something else for a monthly. And since it has worked so well with getting lots of stitches in on a project to get it finished, I started something that I need to stitch. I promised my aunt, and I hope that my cousins' wives do not watch us. I don't think they do. But
Shh. If you do, just shh.
If you do, please keep your mouth shut. Don't ever tell me you saw this. I think only one would watch it. Anyways. So, I am stitching 2 stockings for 2 of my cousins' wives. Their mother, my aunt, had stitched them stockings when they were children. And unfortunately, she is unable to stitch at this stage in her life. So she asked me if I knew anybody who could help her out. And I said, well, I can help you out. And I can, because I found 2 stockings that are pretty easy to stitch. And they go with the girls' personalities. So the first one is this one. I picked this up last year at Ohio Mart. It is Brittercup Designs Britty Kitty Christmas Stocking. It is really cute. And she likes cats. So it is called for in overdyes. I am just doing it in DMCs. Because I was looking at the overdyes and they don't look very variegated when they're stitched out to me. So, I didn't get a whole lot done on it. Just started the borders, the 2 borders where the name goes in between. That was 320 stitches right here. It is on a 28 count opalescence, so it'll have some flair to it because it'll be a little sparkly. What?
1, we need to get a bag for this.
I do need to get a bag for it.
2, I wanted to keep it here because I think there's something we need to do with this.
There is something we need to do with this, so you keep it there and you look at it. So, but that has been my stitching for the week. Kind of short because I only really stitched on a couple of things, on a few, a small number of things. I am preferring getting as much stitches in possible on like 1 whip during the week as opposed to switching every day. I don't mind switching during the week, but I do like getting a couple of prompts done on that. So that's that's the stitching for the week. I have to look at this list. I don't know that I have all of my whips on that. Let's do haul. Because I have haul. First, the wonderful Anne, who watches our videos, sent me, it is cross-stitch card kit. Make cross-stitch cards.
Oh no, the fusion has begun.
It already started because that's how I got into card making.
I'm just being funny.
Yes. So, super cute. Thank you, Anne. I will stitch on them soon. And then sorry, I just glitched out. I have been waiting patiently for my Annie's Club kit. I've been waiting patiently for my Annie's Club kit. They changed their website. They've made some changes with Annie's. Annie's is the company that produces just Cross Stitch magazine. They also produce a multitude of monthly clubs. One is a kind of a general crafting club, general crafts for adults club. There's a kids craft. There's a couple kids crafts club. There's crochet of the month longs. There's knit of the month longs. There's the card making one, and I haven't even scratched the surface. You can also go online and buy crocheting patterns, knitting patterns, cross stitch patterns from them. However, my mother gets 2 of their knit along, their crochet along of the months. I get the card. Both of us were a little frustrated this month. It's also the company that I bought that blanket throw pattern from. That, like, we have no idea what happened with the yarn and why. That one where I got like 3 balls of, I got a ball of each color of yarn, and that's not near enough to make the blanket. I have the instructions for that. I simply need to buy the rest of the yarn and work on it. However, I'm working on my Seasons blanket, and that's enough of a brain scratch. Anyways. So, usually, Mom and I get our monthly kits, like, at the very end of the month. So, like, April's kit would come at the very end of, came at the very end of March. At the very end of April, no May kit. I really kind of was like, I had so much on my plate that I just kind of was like, okay, if I don't have it by the time rummage sale is over, then I'll worry about it. Mom was in the same boat, except she didn't have my other stuff to worry about. She, however, she got one of her kits and not the other. I did get billed for my card kit during rummage sale week, so I wasn't too overly concerned. I think her other kit has finally showed up. I actually forgot to ask. But anyways, so why am I telling you all this? Because the confused look is this, when you start your card making of the month kit, they send you a little tool kit. I think I showed this to you when I started it. It comes in this really cute little pouch that says Create. And you get a stamp block. It's not the best stamp block, but it actually does work. It's a pretty nice stamp block. And actually, I think this one's a little bigger than the first one that I got. I have a little, like, kit, and I'm actually going to switch it into a different bag so that I can zip it shut. I have a little kit that I carry, a fairly sizable kit that I carry to my card making class. This is one of the blocks I throw in there in case I, need a block for something, because you can use a block as, like, to crease, whatever. A bone folder, and then this is not a pen. This has a pointy end on it. Somebody on this video is going to comment that I should do a card making video.
I think I'm going to not be there for that one. I'm sorry, I don't get card making.
It has a pointy end on it. It's to help, like, pick up stuff, like your pre-glued gems and stuff, or if you need to poke out little bits that are a die cut.
Would you reckon I'll have a problem with being inventive and having ADHD?
What?
I have at least 4 different ways you can stab me with that thing if I piss you off.
Since I've already unwrapped half of this, and then a bone folder. I have already received this kit with my monthly kit, so I'm not sure why I got a second one. Whatever. It is what it is. My nieces like to make cards when they're here. If I have the stuff to make cards, I don't know if I'll have stuff to make cards while they're here this time. Now I have 2 little kits that they can use and not fight over the shit, because they sometimes do that. But here is my monthly card kit. Make shaker cards. I'm sure bet there's enough stuff in here. Actually, here we have a card kit the girls and I can make. Because they'll like this. There we go. That's all. Everything just went bling, 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 bling. Okay. Let us move to plans. And start with the weekly. National Cactus Day was hold on, I gotta find this. National Cactus Day was May 17th. Today is May 19th, so National Cactus Day was May 17th. Okay.
I just want to move it over because I want to see the list of stuff.
You take that, I'll take this. So, prompt 1 is to stitch on a whip with water or an item that could store water.
See what the other ones are. See, because I had a couple of ideas.
Okay. Stitch on a whip that contains something spiky.
For but 1 and 2, Arctic Blast. Ice can contain water, and ice is spiky.
Okay. Writing. Prompt 3. Stitch on your oldest whip or one that you expect to take the longest to complete. That's 2 different things in my world.
What is the giant flat sunflower one?
Glory in the Morning.
That one.
I think Dressmaker's Daughter might take longer.
Then do Dressmaker's Daughter. That works too.
Okay.
Because I forgot about how that Dressmaker's Daughter is actually as big as it is. I keep thinking of Dressmaker's Daughter per dress, and then I'm like, wait a minute, that's 5 mirrors combined.
Yeah, it's something. Well, it's on a half a yard of fabric. Technically, those have been stitched on this go round. Okay, stitch on a whip that you have adapted in some way, or tell us how you have done this.
And what's number 5?
And number 5 is to stitch on a whip with a plant. 1 bonus point if your whip contains a cactus. Well, I don't have any cactus whips. So
one is with a plant and adapted in some way. Didn't you adapt just something on Dressmaker's Daughter?
Nope. I'm
Wow.
stitching that as is.
So I'm going to have 3 this time. Dang it.
Dressmaker's Daughter does have plants on it.
That works then.
Okay. Alright, and then we'll just use the pass for adapted. Alright, and now we need to make new monthlies for the last 5 monthlies, because I did one of the monthlies. I needed to do the A, the first A in floral, and I just said that the cats were attacking the Christmas tree. So, we have an L.
They're looking around.
An A.
The Christmas balls are attached. Do you want them to are attached to the tree?
An R. There's a red ornament on there.
That works. There's a red cardinal too. T is easy.
Tree.
Yep.
S. That one cat looks like he's trying to be sneaky.
Some reason those mice are safe.
There's a star on the tree. I meant to find a star button. Because that's a star button. That's not stitched on there.
Well, you could just stitch a star.
We'll do star. Okay. Plans. Complete.
Yep. I don't know which way's up today.
Whips complete. Hauls complete. Plans complete. 25-minute video. I'm not going to complain because Ladies Guild meeting is tonight and it's the last meeting of the season, so it's a 6:30 meeting because we're having food. I'm probably going to come home hungry because I don't
Do you want me to just eat a snack and then go get food when you get home?
often do potlucks well because of how weird I am sometimes with food. We can discuss that when we turn off the camera.
Okay.
So, that's it for this week's video. Thank you all so much for watching, spending some time with us. What would we like the folks to do?
Have a lovely week.
Have a great week.
Please like, comment, subscribe, bell thingy, all the YouTube please and thank yous. Comment below if you ever if you ever used the word "ort" before. This is the first time I've ever recognized it. I might have heard it and not known what the heck it was, and I just heard it now. I'm like, what the "ort"? What? I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on that.
It's okay. Thank you all so much for spending some time with us. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope... Let's try that again. We hope you enjoyed yourself. Yes, it's a stocking. That would have worked for the S, too. We hope you enjoyed yourself. We hope we hope you were entertained. That's where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
We hope to see you next week. And, yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye!
Bye!